Neston. Right, decent hand. I know it's questionable because of one land, but I got Opal. That's okay. I got Lock, Bridge. It's really, if I just draw a couple lands, or a land, hell, things will be okay. I want to point this out. I know it sounds wrong, but my opponent mulliganed to 6 and then scryed a card on top. So I could have thought seized instead of shreddered, but I wanted to play shredder first for a couple of reasons. One, I can get rid of that card, which I know my opponent wants anyways. And two, I'm setting up the Opal for Metalcraft next turn. I do run the risk of my opponent using a discard spell on me, but really, which card does my opponent choose if they go for discard? Because they go for Bridge, I get discard. I play Lantern and discard and throw my opponent off, and then Ethergrid will be able to, help me out, and I'll still be able to self-mill into another Bridge, or whatever. So I figured this was the safest play. My opponent plays no play turn 1. I think that's a foil Bloodstained Mire. Fancy. But so yeah, good. Get rid of that. There's Liliana gets milled instead. I let my opponent draw the Abrupt Decay. I was like, screw it, what I was going to do is let my opponent draw it and then thought seize it out of the hand. I figured my opponent might try to play something else, but instead they used the Decay on Shredder. But I got another Shredder coming up. Go ahead and draw, play it. Got Metalcraft again. Play Shredder to get that Metalcraft and thought seize. And now I have the lock and I've disrupted my opponent's hand. Opponent had Scavenging Ooze, Lightning Bolt, Overgrown Tomb, and Swamp, and Liliana. I grabbed the Liliana because everything else don't matter. Scavenging Ooze isn't going to matter. I can kill it with Ethergrid anyways. Opponent, that's the only threat my opponent really has, and both of these cards will shut that off, and I'm going to control everything my opponent has from now on. Pretty much. And I got a Revival coming up. So, opponent goes for Ooze. It is unfortunate, but I got a Revival coming up. It was probably, I probably misplayed here, because I passed turn, if I'm not mistaken, let my opponent untap that green Swords for the Ooze. It was probably right to use Noxus Revival to grab Stirrings or Shredder. But no, I passed turn and let my opponent untap for that green mana. But take the 2 damage. Gotta get rid of that Abrupt Decay. Oh yeah, in case you didn't catch that. What happened there was opponent had Verdant Catacombs. I go to the mill of Abrupt Decay. Opponent searches out, gets Blood Crypt. There's a Decay on top again, so I mill Decay. Go ahead and play at the grid, get ready to start taking out that Ooze. And the opponent concedes. Because the opponent has 0 relevant cards in hand, and I'm not going to let my opponent draw any relevant cards. So, game 2. I got greedy in game 2, unfortunately. It might have worked out if I'd drawn a little bit better, but yeah, I had to mold that, unfortunately. But yeah, keep Decay on top, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, got natural combo. I figure opponent's probably gonna do something like, sure enough, Duress. I figured a Thought Seize, Inquisition, Duress, something. And yeah, grabs a Shredder. I think grabbing the Lantern was the correct move, actually, but whichever. Tormagoyf. Oh, crap. Well, at least I can decay it, I guess. Now notice, opponent plays Explosives. Does not play a land. Does not play a land. So I was like, play Ghost Quarter, and I Ghost Quarter my opponent's land. Opponent does get a Forest on top. That's unfortunate. I was hoping to try to keep him or her on 2 lands. Or 1 land, but drew another one. Yeah. Now I Stirrings because I really want to get a Mill Rock and I don't get one. That was sad. So I get a Ruins to try to get a Mill Rock back. I figure I can try to get the... now, I misplayed there. It might have worked. It might have worked. If I had played Glimmer Void instead of Copperline Gorge, I could have played Ruins next turn. Or I could have Ruins during... Well, yeah, Ruins the turn after next to cut my opponent off of lands. But yeah, I misplayed there. I played Gorge instead of Glimmer Void. Really, it was because I was afraid my opponent had some sort of artifact destruction in hand, and I was worried that they would destroy my Lantern and take out my Glimmer Void as well. So, yeah. Ouch. And it turns out my opponent had 3 Tarmogoyfs. One of them I saw my opponent draw. So I shuffle up, hope to draw bridge, don't draw bridge, know I'm dead next turn, so I concede. So yeah, again, my mistake there was I played Gorge instead of Glimmer Void. If I played Glimmer Void, things might have been different. So game 3. Jund, I swear this has got to be one of the hardest matchups for a Lantern. But, so yeah, I go for it. It's technically, you can call it a one-land hand because I have 2 ruins. So, I keep it. Because I got Needle, Lantern, Decay will help. There's a part of the lock right there, so that's cool. Opponent does get rid of Spellskite. That would have been a nice little road bump there, or speed bump there. Got the lock online now. I don't have colored mana, so that's a little, I don't know, unfortunate. It's worrisome, I guess you could say. Notice my opponent hasn't played a whole heck of, plays Dark Confidant, right? But no, artifact destruction yet. So there's a Tasigur. I guess they're, going all out, get rid of that decay. So I'm getting rid of a lot of my opponent's ability to destroy artifacts. So there's, 2 decays gone? There's another decay right there. So I can get rid of that. So that's 3 decays. Draw another Shredder. And I figure my opponent hasn't played a Liliana yet. But Liliana is the thing I really got to worry about at this point, so I need a Liliana. Just in case. Because everything else I can pretty much deal with. I mean, artifact disruption is unfortunate, but I don't think my opponent has a whole lot left because of the Abrupt Decay and Abrupt Decay gone. Let's see, how much artifact destruction did I get rid of? I got rid of 2 decays and a pulse so far. So go ahead and play bridge, and Welding Jar is going to make it so that another artifact destruction isn't going to do enough. There's an Ancient Grudge, but use Lantern to shuffle that away. Opponent's trying to exile cards to turn on Tasigur, but it doesn't matter. I'll have a Tarmogoyf. Go for it. And putting more dead cards into my opponent's graveyard. It was kind of worrisome. There's a Deglamour, so I can just get that out of there as well. I already got rid of the Culligan's command, so my opponent's running really low on artifact removal now. Let's see, 3 decays, or 2 decays, 1 command, 1 glamour, 1 pulse. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6 artifact destruction spells, or spells that would get rid of bridge or break the combo. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them are gone. 5th one's about to be gone, and Welding Jar protects me. So, and then I can just dig into another jar if I need to, or another bridge if I need to. So, and Liliana's not going to do squat. I'm guessing my opponent had 1 or more Lilianas in hand and was hoping that I would needle Tasigur to so they can lure out the needle with Tasigur, and then play Liliana and win. But I recognize that Liliana was the real threat there. So I'm assuming that my opponent had multiple Lilianas in hand, at least 1. But yeah, I can just give my opponent back a bunch of dead crap now. Give him more Confidants, or give him Thoughtseize back. But yeah, good stuff. And opponent concedes.